Hello, welcome back. Today I have this lamp I wanted to take a look at. It's a TaoTronics. I actually got this used for just a few bucks at a resale shop, and it seemed to function, but now that I have it back, there's some issues with it, so I wanted to look at it. It's a pretty nice lamp actually, as far as brightness and everything. Guess I'll exhibit it on this spinning base I found. It would fit on there pretty well. So I'll show you what the problem is though. If you look at the back, well, this is low light here, but there you go. It calls for 12 volts, 1.2 amps. It just has a barrel jack and a little port for some USB charging. Pretty nice and weighty base, metal. So let me set my DC power supply to 12 volts and let's plug it in. Okay, we're set to 12 volts, no current limiting. And we'll plug it in. And it turns on. Just like that. We get kind of a soft white look, and the power button, blue power button, is illuminated here. Of course. Turns on and the blue power button right here is illuminated, and I'll get a closer shot of all this in a moment. Alright, we're a little bit closer now. We have the lamp still on. It's the only lamp on here. So you'll be able to see the changes below. We have the power button lit there, and we're drawing 120 milliamps at basically 12 volts. Well, before we press the power button, the lamp it's lit, it's on, right when we turn it on. So we can try to press these other buttons. One is for brightness and one is for color intensity. They do nothing. So let's press the power button. Then look at that. It turns on seemingly full brightness. There's supposed to be a memory of your settings here. So whatever you leave this on as far as brightness and color intensity should stay. But anyways, it comes on full brightness. Turn it off. We see it is still on. So it seems like it never goes off. So at first I thought, well, it's kind of odd, but maybe there's a setting, or maybe that's, it's some sort of lab light and it just that's the off or something. But then so I decided to contact the company and ask them if this was normal behavior. And I mean, either the support didn't really know what I was talking about, or they just didn't feel like trying to help. But anyways, they actually got back to me, so kudos for them on that. But they said it was some memory thing, but I'm pretty sure it's not working correctly, because I saw another review of it and it's not supposed to just turn on right away. So I'm thinking that there's going to be some sort of transistor shorted in this, and it's permanently putting on some brightness. So we're going to take it apart and we're going to have a look at the guts and see what we can find out. Okay, and just before we even get started, let's take a note at the power. So we're drawing 600 milliamps here, and let's see if that's full brightness. Yeah, looks like it. I think it was drawing like 800 at first when I powered it on at first, but. So I should also note, when I found this, there was a 5 volt barrel connector plugged in. And then I couldn't find the original one in the store, and I tried a 9-volt one, and it seemed to work. So I thought I'll buy it. It works, and then I get it back, and it seems like it doesn't turn off. So let's take a look. Okay, so we have to get it apart. So here's a look at the base. Originally, I was going to try to peel off this foam here, but it seems like it's just going to rip up. So I started feeling around, and we can feel some screw holes is what it seems like right there and there, and the other ones right here and here, which probably correspond with just this top part. So this top part probably comes off of this nice metal base, and we can probably have a look at the circuitry in there. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to cut these holes. I may just put an X in them with an X-Acto. Don't know if I want to take my soldering iron and just kind of maybe burn a hole there. That might work too, but I'm going to play around with that in a second. I'll be back. Okay, so I just cut a little X right here, and I'm going to try to get a nice view in here, but there's a black Phillips head here, screw. So yeah, you can kind of see it there. So I'm just gonna take these out, and we'll see if we can get this thing up. Okay, there's one tiny little screw. That's interesting that's most likely how that's adhered to the base. On this one, I'm just going to try to not even cut it. See if we can just get it out. Yeah, that's going to work too. A little less damage that way. Try to hold the part that's going to come apart here. These double screws. Okay, well, there are 4 screws. Is this going to come up? And it is loose, but it doesn't yet want to come up. Let's try to twist it a little bit. I wonder if there's something more adhering it. You can see it does want to pull up. The front is still down, so I'm going to just take another look at this. Okay, so I missed 2. There's one here, and one here we have to still take out. So glad I didn't just pry that, because we would have had some broken stuff going on. So there's one, and oh yeah, now it's gonna come. Here is the other one. Okay, and look at this. This is a heavy base piece of metal that's going to come off. Here's this separate kind of shiny metallic piece. We have kind of an isolator pad. And hey, is that a telltale sign something went wrong there? Looks like a melt hole there. Right over this part right here. Huh, that's interesting. So let's see what that is. Yeah, that part is done, so let's see if we can get a zoom in there. U4, so what could that be? I guess that's what that is. Yeah, it looks like U4 there. Okay, so I took these 3 screws out, 1, 2, 3, and this board does come out here. It is, however, soldered into place. You can see these springs for the capacitive touch sensors. So I think I'm going to note the orientation of all these, desolder them, and take a closer look at the board. So these are YL and WL. So probably yellow light and white light. That's my current guess. So we might have the yellow light maybe shorted out, and then the white light transistor still may be good. And this is a LED driver. It is the what is it? It's a PT4115 LED driver. So the looks like it's actually the burnt out one is connected to the YL. So which would make sense because the yellow is the one that's permanently on. So there must be possibly a short circuit in here. I'm not exactly sure, but these are available as well. So if I don't find anything wrong with the circuit, I may order some of these. So we're gonna desolder just one of the YL wires here and see if it still turns on right when we plug it in. Okay, so we've desoldered one of the presumably yellow LED wires, and let's plug it into the power supply. Try not to touch any of the capacitive touch buttons. Make sure this isn't touching anything else. And turn it on. And we can see it no longer turns on the yellow LED by default. Let me just actually leave this here. Let me back this up a little bit more. Something like that. So looks like they have a little blue LED on this one here. So that must be the power button. We can see that does turn on now, and it's at the same brightness as before. So looks like everything still works. So we just had a short circuit as far as the yellow LED is, the yellow strips are concerned. So question is, why did the chip burn out? So I'm gonna have to poke around a little bit, see if there are any other shorts, any other bad components that would have caused that to blow up like that. So it doesn't, I don't put a new one on and it happens again. So I'm going to poke around a little bit and I will get back to you. All right, so we're back. The part finally came in, the PT4115. I just got 5 of them. So I'm going to replace that on the board. Here it goes. Here's where it's going to go. Another thing is I was getting some weird leakage on this supposed negative rail here before. So I popped off the diode. I was still getting it. I popped off the capacitor. I was still getting it. Put the capacitor back on. It's there. So it's probably some like reactance or something from initially switching the supply. Might put something on this line. I don't think it's the inductor getting anything because unless it needs the coupling. So anyways, there was some slight voltage on this line, and there really never was on this one. So I'm gonna replace this diode and I replace this capacitor, and I'll put the chip back on and we'll see if we're back in business. So things got a little bit gunky. So let's clean them up a little bit. It's rubbing alcohol, toothbrush, and a little bit of paper towel. All right, time to test her out. I just added some LEDs that I had lying around just to see if we have both channels working here. Board's a little cleaned up, still a little dirty, but so hopefully these chips don't need too much load because they're not going to get much load. Okay, so we have the blue LED. Looks like on-off's working. I don't know if any of these other controls will work because we're not really driving much here. But I think that's good enough to test. Hook them back up and test them. So. All right, well, I guess it's time to test it. Let's plug it in. We're at 12 volts. We have nothing coming on right away, which I think is good. I see the blue power light is on. Let me see if I can get this in one shot here. Let's click that. It comes on. We can adjust it pretty low there. That's pretty high. And then this is the color temperature, I guess. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. I like that actually. So it looks like it's working pretty well. It may have been overdriving the lights before. Let me get a look at power supply. We were drawing a little bit more current last time. So this is basically the range of current. We're at the highest brightness. Let me adjust through the colors. That has a little bit of effect on the current. Let's see. When we turn it off, it actually completely turns off now. So looks like it was probably just the chip had gone. I'm not sure why. I did replace these fast switching diode as well as a capacitor, but I don't know if those were an issue. I did clean up a solder joint as well. So possibly something happened with maybe using wrong voltage. I kind of doubt it, but in any case, it seems to be working, and I'll keep you guys up to date if it stops working or something like that. All right, well, I figured I'd show a last clip of it all put together here. So, yeah, I don't know if you can see the power button here is illuminated. It's not that important, but that's illuminated there. Sorry about got a lot of stuff out here. Let's turn it on. You can see it's fairly bright. We can dim it down, change the color temperature. You can turn it off. So, pretty nice. I haven't tested the 5 volts out yet. Maybe I'll do that quick. 5 volts with it off, 5 volts with it on.